First of all, dankjewel. It's great to come to the Netherlands. This is a special country for ACN. Our world headquarters is located in Amsterdam, so I'm here a lot. Probably a lot more than you know, but I'm here a lot, along with the other ACN executives, as well as the other ACN co-founders. This is a very important market for us, and I want to first congratulate all of you because of the production you're delivering here in Europe. You are putting the Netherlands on the map, and as a percentage of growth, in 2013, the Netherlands grew the most as a percentage than any other country in Europe. And you've got to give the credit where credit is deserved, and that's all of you. It's the leadership, it's the people here that made the choice to build the business. You guys are doing it. So thank you very much. But I believe it's only the beginning for you. And where you take it is totally up to you. But if you've got a great start. You're on a great foundation. Now it's time for you just to keep going and be a part of the next wave of leaders. Can you guys do that? Yes. Okay. Are you having trouble hearing me up there? Can you hear me a little? Okay, good. That's good. Okay. Let me do two things. First, I would like to, because I know there's a lot of new people here. Maybe some of you have been in ACN for less than 90 days. Some of you have been here for a while. But I'd like to start off telling you why we started ACN, just so you understand where we came from. And I'd like to finish with giving you a little vision of where it's going in 2014. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, so let me start off with why we started ACN. As you know, there's 4 co-founders: Greg Provenzano, Robert Stefanowski, Tony Kupis, and myself. We started this company in January of 1993 because at that time there was no company that we felt comfortable being representatives in. Now you have to understand that before we started this company, we were representatives just like you. We were working as independent representatives in different direct sales companies. But during that time, those companies were letting us down. In other words, those companies were not delivering to us. So we were working hard. We had a lot of desire to succeed. But we couldn't make it work because the companies that we were a part of were doing a bad job. So that's when we got together and we had to make a choice. What are we going to do? We only have 2 choices. Either we're going to quit network marketing forever, or we have to look for a company that we felt would represent us so we could work hard and we could bring people to it and we could be successful, just like all of you would like to see out of ACN. We started researching all of the companies in North America in late 1992, and what we decided at that time was there was not one company that was going to offer us what we felt we needed to do what we want to do going forward in our future. There wasn't one company. And that's when we decided to put ACN together. And I remember it like yesterday. Robert Stefanowski was actually the first one to come up with the idea. He said, listen, we love the industry. We believe in network marketing. Why don't we just put together our own company? He was the one that said it first. And we sat back and we thought about it and we said, why not? Because it makes sense. At least we know that nobody can take our future away. And we felt good because when we were bringing people in, we knew that our hearts were in the right place. We felt that if we brought people in, that we know that their futures are going to be taken care of as well. So we asked ourselves 2 questions. We said, okay, if we're going to do this, first of all, what is it we believe in? That was the most important. And second, what are we interested in? Because we got to know what direction we're going to go. Well, we all believed 100% that network marketing worked. We knew it worked. We knew it worked in our hearts because it had already worked for us. We'd already made money. We already succeeded. We already went to the top of other companies' marketing plans. We already succeeded. So we knew 100% that it worked. There was no doubt. But then we asked ourselves, what are we interested in? And all of us were interested in the opportunities that were coming through the deregulation of the telecommunication industry. So we came up with the idea of bringing those opportunities together with the industry of direct sales. Now at the time, we didn't know of any other company that was doing this, but it made sense to us. So that's when the idea of ACN was created. And back then, there was only one industry deregulated in the telecommunications market, and that was long-distance phone service, which is your fixed-line service. It's for national calls and international calling. That was the only thing that was deregulated in the United States in late 1992. So when we launched ACN in January of 1993, we found a company. It was a small, long-distance phone company. We signed a contract with them. And they were the provider, and we were the marketing company. So we were a small little agency that's just getting started, and they were the phone company, and we made an agreement with them. We said, we'll get the customers, and you pay us a residual so we can pay our independent reps. That's how ACN started. And we did this in 1993. And it worked incredibly well. Matter of fact, for the first 5 years that ACN was in operations, we brought so many customers to this company that we were doing over 30 million US dollars per month in billing when you added up all of our customers together. That's how much we were doing in 5 years. So what does that tell you? That tells you that direct sales works as a means of getting customers. It works. And that phone company was extremely happy. They were building their company, they were making a lot of money, but at some point, we did well enough where we decided to go off and become our own phone company. And that's what we did. We made enough money over time to invest into our own company, and in the United States, we launched the ACN phone service for the very first time. And I want you guys to understand what that was like for us. We started off as a small idea that turned into a small company that signed a contract with a phone company, which eventually evolved into now we were a phone company. So things were working, things were happening, but we wanted to keep going. We decided that we wanted to expand internationally. We ended up going to Canada. Then Canada led to the United Kingdom. Then I think Sweden was the next country, then Germany. And now, if you look around the world, we're in a lot of different countries. But believe me when I tell you that our beginnings were humble. We started no different than you guys. We worked hard, we had vision, we believed, and today we work just as hard, if not harder, because we believe that the future has so much more to offer, even in comparison to what we believed was possible in the 90s, that we're looking at the next 20 years, and we believe the next 20 years are going to be much better than even the first 20 years. Does that make sense? And you guys are going to be a part of that. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Good. I think I'm speaking louder. Okay. You guys have PowerPoint up here? Is that out too? Out? Yeah. Okay, then you just have to listen. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. Let me just give you some of ACN's accomplishments, just so you understand what we've been able to do. Number one, today, ACN is the world's largest direct seller of telecommunication services and essential home services in the world. That means no one is bigger than ACN. We're proud of that. We're proud of that because that was one of our goals, and we accomplished that goal. Also, we were featured this February, past February, in the Direct Selling News. Now, the Direct Selling News is a global industry magazine, And there's thousands and thousands of companies out there in direct sales, but we were featured in February. Greg Provenzano, ACN's president, there was an article where he was interviewed, and it was basically celebrating our 20 years in business. But being in that magazine was a huge accomplishment because it's an industry magazine, and the way ACN is respected globally today is really unmatched compared to all other companies, especially that started the way we started, 20 years ago. Also, we have a relationship with a multi-billionaire. His name is Donald J. Trump. I know he's very popular in North America. He's not as popular in Europe, but I know most of you know who he is. His personality is even bigger than his money. And those of you that see him on TV know what I'm talking about. But he's endorsed ACN. Now you have to understand why this is important. Okay, no other direct sales company ever in history prior to ACN has ever had an endorsement this big. And we believe no other company in the future will ever have an endorsement this big. So having this endorsement, having somebody say they believe in what we're doing at the level of Donald Trump, that endorsement is something that is an accomplishment that has been unmatched by any other company in the direct sales industry. Not only do we have an endorsement deal with him, but we were also on a primetime television show, which is, primetime is that's the biggest viewing audience in North America, 20 million viewers plus, on a primetime television show for a direct sales company to be featured, not once, but twice, 2 years apart. Again, it was an accomplishment that ACN did that no other company's been able to do. And also, we believe in being successful, we believe in growing, but we also believe in giving back. And we represent the Ronald McDonald House Charities. And just since our deal that we signed with them, we've given them, not us as a company, but us as a company and you guys as representatives, combined have given the Ronald McDonald House Charities over $2.5 million. So we believe that, yes, success is important, growth is important, but giving back is equally as important. Do you guys agree with that? Yes. And that's what ACN is all about, giving back. Now, let me talk about our strategy, because I want you to have really just a conscious, I want you to understand what we're trying to accomplish going forward. Number one, our strategy. We want to be a single source provider of essential services for the home and business. That has never changed. And we're going to continue doing that. But at the same time, we're creating an outstanding opportunity for individuals to be in business for themselves, but not by themselves. Never by themselves. Everything we do is tied to other people. That's what the whole concept is. In traditional business, you're on your own. You're on your own, traditional business. Here, you get the support of someone who's in your upline, and one day when you're successful, you can support someone else. So we're all linked together.
PowerPoint's back.
The PowerPoint is on.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Go to the slide that is titled Strategy, ACN Strategy. We also want to, if you look at point number 3, great job. If you look at, not up to lose my voice, that's good. If you look at point number 3, our goal is to continue to expand our product categories globally. And what that means is, depending on what country you're in, we're always looking at bringing out a new product or service because it helps enhance the ACN opportunity for all of you. But at the same time, we're going to look at our existing categories. And we're going to work on improving our existing categories as well. So it's going to be a balance of ACN introducing new categories and also working on some of our existing categories. One of the things you're going to see ACN doing a lot of is bringing out our own ACN branded products. So in 2014, you're going to see this a lot. And what does that mean when I say ACN is going to bring out our own branded products? Well, there's 2 ways we can bring a product to you. Number one, we can sign a contract with an existing company who's already in business, and we can be an agent for them. And you can sell their products, and you can make money, and that's great. But the other way is we can build our own platform and billing systems, and we can own the customer, and you can market a product that's considered an ACN-owned or ACN-branded product. We believe it's better, long-term, for all of you to be marketing ACN-owned and ACN-branded products for a number of reasons. Number one, we have control of that product. That's the most important, so we can control what the customer is going to get. But the reason why it's important for the opportunity for all of you is because when we sign a contract and we're selling as an agent for someone else, they typically will only compensate ACN for the contract term of that customer, which means we can only pay you for the term of a contract of a customer. Does that make sense? So when it's ACN owned or ACN controlled, we pay you for the life of the customer. Because if you have a customer on service and they're still here 5 years from now, how many of you would like to get paid 5 years from now? Okay? So that's one advantage. The second advantage is whenever we have an agent deal, they typically pay us less because they have to make money too. So that's when you see us paying typically 50% of what the normal residual commission would be. We have to do it because of how we get paid. But when ACN owns the product, okay, all the margin belongs to ACN. So typically in that situation, we can pay you full commissions and even in some cases higher commissions residually than what the normal compensation plan offers. So that's another advantage. So again, there's a lot of different reasons why we want to have our own products, and you're going to see us investing a lot into bringing out our own products in 2014 and beyond. But we believe having an agent deal is good. I'm not going to tell you it's bad, because sometimes having an agent deal just makes sense. Sometimes having an agent deal will allow us to get into a market fast. Having an agent deal sometimes will allow us to bring a product to that we couldn't do ourselves. So we're going to do a blend always, but we just believe where we can do our own products, we're going to do our own products. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just talk about the Netherlands, and all countries actually. Just to give you an example, if you look at the screen, we started off with just fixed line everywhere. Even our very first country, which was the United States. And if you look at the screen, since that time, we've expanded into digital phone service, mobile, broadband, television, security, energy, and now, recently, we've got into e-commerce, which is internet buying, and we're in the wellness industry. So all of this represents an opportunity for you, but we've got many more services coming, and believe it or not, there's a lot of services that you don't even see there that we used to do that we don't do anymore because times have changed. For example, I don't know if any of you ever remember having pagers. You guys remember pagers? Did you guys call it pagers? Used to work on your bell? Right? Who has one now? Anybody? Because at one point, that was one of the biggest products in the telecommunication industry, and we were selling it. But we don't see it up there anymore. So sometimes you might see some products become obsolete, and then we'll look into a new category and bring something new. Here's the best thing about ACN. Because what do we specialize in? We specialize in acquiring customers. Our whole opportunity is about acquiring customers, which means we can put any product or service down that funnel we want. We're going to market what we think is best and needed. And that can change over time because our opportunity is about customer acquisition. It's about distribution. And that's what makes ACN unique because most companies out there don't have that. We have that, other companies don't. So let me just talk about the Netherlands. And as you guys know, we've recently launched ACN Broadband as a bundle here in the Netherlands. We've got 2 bundles available. We've got broadband and phone for €34.75. We've got broadband phone with KPN Interactive TV for €47.25 per month. There's free activation and there's a free wireless router. But we're running a special promotion. This is for all of you who are acquiring customers in this area till the last day of the year. So if you get customers on one of these 2 products by the 31st of December, you're going to have a promotion. And how it works is if they get just the broadband and phone, for the first 3 months of billing for that customer, it's only going to be €25. If they get broadband phone and the KPN TV, their first 3 months of billing will be €35 per month. So this is a great promotion. It gives you an opportunity to get out there and get some customers. But again, this is an example of ACN working on making a current product better, creating promotion, doing different things to help you guys create the conversation which will lead to eventually getting a customer. Now let's talk about 2014. You guys want to hear a little vision?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things that we're going to be doing in 2014, actually it's a lot of things, but I'm going to focus on one particular area because it's going to be the fastest thing we're going to deliver next year. It's going to be available in the first quarter. It's called merchant services. We believe this is going to be a huge part of your business, and I'll explain why towards the end. And I know that as I explain this more, I know a light bulb is going to go on in a lot of your minds, because when I'm done explaining, you'll understand why. It doesn't matter your experience level. It doesn't even matter whether you believe you could ever really understand the merchant service business. We're going to show you how, whether you're just getting involved in ACN today, whether you've been around for a long time, or you're recruiting somebody next week, everyone's going to have a shot at being successful in the merchant service business where you understand the system and how we're going to do it. So our ACM's partner, who's our partner? The company is called Anovia Payments. Anovia Payments, let me give you some background on the company. Their global headquarters is located in Dallas, Texas, and that's because that's a major hub for merchant banking. It's actually Dallas and Atlanta. Those are the biggest hubs in North America, but we chose to be in Dallas because we felt that was the best place. So that's where Anovia Payments global headquarters is located. Now our European headquarters, Anovia Payments European headquarters will be located in the London area. So that's what's going to service the European market. We've got an expertise group of people there that are the best of the best of the best. They've actually got a combined 100 years experience in this industry, so they really, truly know what they're doing. Now, when we're here in Europe, we're going to do something very extraordinary, which I'm going to explain in a moment, but we're going to have country-specific expertise. So it doesn't make a difference which country ACN will be operating in with Anovia Payments. Anovia Payments will have country-specific expertise so that we are successful in each market. And we believe it's going to be a difference maker when it comes to growth in the future. Now, what's special about Anovia Payments? Anovia Payments is going to be the first global payment processing solution. The first. Now, why is that unique? Because there's a lot of processing payment companies out there, but a lot of them are just targeting one country at a time. So you might have a processor available in the Netherlands, or you might have a processor available in Canada, or you might have a processor available in the United States, but they're only focusing on that market. Where there's a lot of companies out there that they have international business. You might have a company in the Netherlands that's doing business in Germany, they're doing business in the UK, they're doing business in the United States, they're doing business in Australia. What we're going to offer these companies is we're going to be a single, through Anovia Payments, they're going to be a single processing provider that's going to offer those services in multi-country. So as they grow and continue to grow, it's going to make us unique because instead of companies having to go to different processors depending on where they're doing business in different countries, they're going to be able to deal with one processor that's going to handle all their needs globally. Is that a great thing? So that's what's going to make us unique. And that's going to be the story whenever you're talking to somebody, because that's what's going to give us an edge in the marketplace. Now, what will Anovia Payments be able to do? They're going to be able to process all payment types, because we know different companies will process their payments in different ways. So they're going to be able to handle credit, debit, contactless, e-commerce, mobile, gift cards, and multi-currency. And we're also going to be able to, through Anovia Payments, we're going to be able to provide businesses with the equipment that they need to handle any point of sale. For example, some people will want to have a smartphone solution. Okay? And that's how they're going to process payments. Real small companies do that, little vendors. For example, I just recently went to an art show, kind of an art fair. I don't know if you guys call it here, where I live, in the city that I live, which is in Birmingham, Michigan. And they had all these little tents set up. And every tent was a different artist. And I walked up, I was with my girlfriend, and she saw a painting she wanted, so we bought it. Well, he's a little independent, artist. He doesn't have any employees. But how he takes his payment processing was with the mobile device. So that's perfect for his needs. That's a customer you can get because it's a one-person company that's dealing with their own personal products, but guess what? It's a business, it's handling transactions. Also, we're going to be able to handle companies that use terminal solutions. And this is more the traditional way people take payments today in Europe and in the United States. But we're going to have different types of options. Some people will have wired terminals, and some people have wireless terminals. How many of you have ever been sitting at a restaurant before and somebody walked up to the table with the terminal in their hand, and then they processed the payment right there? Okay, so depending on the customer's needs, we'll have that available. Now, there's a lot of companies out there that will have new equipment, and we'll be able to, through Inovia Payments, they'll be able to actually just reprogram their equipment if it's good and if it's compatible and it's new. We don't have to give somebody new equipment if they have good equipment. They can just reprogram the current equipment they have. Also, tablet solutions. That's another way you can process payments. We'll have that available. And the last one, which is very important, is e-commerce, because almost all businesses today are moving in one way or another to sell a product or service online. So a lot of merchant service companies out there aren't prepared to do that. They can't handle online transactions, but they just don't have the experience to do it. And our company, Inovia Payments, who's going to be supporting us, they're going to specialize in this, and they're going to do a great job of doing it. So basically, any point of sale that you can think of, Inovia Payments can handle. It's going to make your job easier because there'll be no limitations and there'll be no restrictions. Okay, let's talk about an ideal customer, because many of you now have to figure out who your customers are going to be. And the bottom line is, it's a business. Okay? It's a business that accepts or wants to accept credit cards. So the question I have for you is, how many businesses out there today can you see that are going to need to operate by accepting credit cards? And in the last 5 years, it's changed dramatically here in Europe. I mean, I remember coming here 10 years ago, and I would go to hotels, in Germany, in different places, and I would have a credit card, and they said, "We don't take that." I'm going, well, how am I supposed to pay? Cash, okay? Or check, or some other form of payment. But today, there's really virtually no place I go to in Europe that doesn't take a credit card. It's just, I would say that Europe is about maybe 8 or 10 years behind the United States in this area, in this industry. Okay? But it's a big industry now, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Matter of fact, the growth in the area of processing in Europe, as far as where you are today and where you're going over the next 10 years, is much bigger than anywhere else in the world, because its time is now. And I look at really the people that I know personally that was in credit card processing 10 and 12 and 15 years ago in North America. One of my very good friends owns one of the biggest processing companies in the United States, and he's done extremely well for himself, and he's in his 30s. And when I say extremely well, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine what a very, very rich man looks like. That's him, okay? Personal jets, mansions around the world, because he got in the industry at the right time. What are we doing, guys? The same thing. We're getting in the industry at the right time. It doesn't guarantee your success, but it guarantees you're in it at the right time. Now, what you do with it is up to you. So, look at some examples up on the screen. These are examples of customers. Because some people say, who would I approach? Well, contractors, retail, restaurants, bars, dry cleaners, online stores. I mean, any type of business that's selling something or moving a product or service, they're taking a credit card. That's a potential customer for us going forward in the future. Now, in order for us to be successful, this is what I think you're going to get excited about. This is what I think is going to start moving you to a vision where you're going to understand why all of us can do this. We don't want you to change what you're doing. We want you to recognize what ACN's advantage is and always has been. And that's relationship marketing. Look at the screen. It's relationship marketing. That's always been our advantage. Inovia's advantage is they're going to give you full sales support from A to Z. They're going to give it to you. Now, let me explain to you why this is important. I'll just give you a few minutes on this because I want you to understand how we discovered this ourselves. When ACN first started in 1993, and I told you about us signing that contract with that phone company, now the only thing we wanted to sell was residential, long-distance phone service for individual homes. That's all we wanted to do. And the reason that's all we wanted to do is because it was simple. And we knew that anyone who joined ACN, we knew that they could do it. Because it was a no-brainer. It wasn't complicated. You know, you didn't have to really educate people that much. It was simple to do. So we said, it has to work for the masses. If it doesn't work for the masses, it doesn't work for direct sales. So we never believed we could ever get it into the business account side of the long-distance industry. But when we signed our contract with that company, they said, well, listen, when you sign a contract with us, it's both for residential and business. Now, whether you turn it in, it doesn't matter, but you can sell business too. So we named available, but we had no expectation that our reps would sell it. Well, after our year 1, year 2, year 3, we started winning all the awards for this company. They were bringing us on stage for their company saying, #1 for business sales is ACN again. And we're thinking, wait, we never teach it. We never explained how to get a business customer because we never thought we would ever get a business customer. But why are we #1? I mean, we're beating out every agency in the United States. Nobody could compete with us. They're thinking, what are these guys doing? What is their strategy for getting business accounts? I mean, it's unbelievable how many business accounts these guys are bringing in. As a matter of fact, in our 5th year in business, if you add up all the bills, just in business accounts alone, we were doing over $3.5 million in billing per month. Per month. Okay? But we never taught it. We never explained it. We never had the business accounts anywhere in our literature. But how did we do so well? Here's how we did so well. Because what we didn't realize is how many representatives were going to join ACN that own their own business. So 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 people that are in your downline are already going to own their own business. So it's a no-brainer for them. They're going to come in and say, okay, well, I own a business. So I'm going to switch my business onto this service because #1, not only am I going to save money, but #2, I get paid on it. Every businessman or woman knows that that's the smartest thing you can possibly do. Not only will I save money, but I'm going to get paid on it. So you don't have to teach that. Business people will figure that out probably in 10 seconds. So when you think about how many people will be in your downline, okay, that will own their own business, do you know that you're going to get a lot of the no-via payment customers? Not because you're the best trainer out there, but because a lot of people are going to join ACN, they're going to own their own business, and guess what? Business owners know other business owners. So if they have a good deal, an experience, they become a testimonial and they can tell another business owner. So that's exactly how we got a lot of business accounts when we started ACN in 1993. We had no expectation of it, but then we learned, guess what? We can do business too. Even though our focus is residential, we'll end up being a big player in the business area. And that's why today we do both. We do business and we do, residential. Because we know that we're going to have a lot of business people join ACN. They're going to own their own business. So understand that that's going to be more important than anything else. Don't think you have to become a merchant service expert in ACN. Don't think that, because you don't. You're going to get a lot of business if you build a big team, regardless of whether you know anything about merchant services. Relationship marketing is first and foremost what makes us successful. Never deviate from that. It's about the volume of team members you have, not the volume of personal customers you have. Okay? Because if you have a lot of team members, I guarantee that you'll have more customers overall than the person who thinks they got to go out and be an expert in customer acquisition. Does that make sense to you guys? Bigger the team, more customers. So why am I talking about this? Because let me explain how it's going to work with the no-via payments. Okay, your job as an independent rep, if you have a relationship with a business owner, you have to simply ask, do they accept credit cards? How many of you could ask that question? Okay, and there's your training. It's over. Okay? Because if they say yes, and they're interested in seeing if we could save them money, all you have to do to make it a legitimate process is you've got to get a copy of their merchant services statement. What is that? It's like their monthly bill. How many of you get a monthly phone bill? Right? So you understand, you get a monthly bill, well, a business gets a monthly merchant statement. It's a merchant statement, which obviously calculates the last month's transactions and activities. You get a copy of that merchant statement. You guys ready for this? It's going to be tough. You get a copy of that. Now, not all of it is paper. Some people it's all digital, so they can just email it. They don't have to give it to you in paper, they can just email it. But just for example, you got a copy of their merchant statement. Here's what you do. You guys ready?
Yes.
You give it to Novia Payments. How many of you can do that? From this point forward, Novia Payments does everything else. How many of you think that sounds pretty simple? Okay. How many of you think that you could actually be in the merchant service business now? Yes. How many of you think now that you probably recruit somebody tomorrow who knows nothing about merchant services and they could be in the merchant service business? Okay. You realize we're going to make this so ridiculous simple that an idiot could do this because we're taking all the work out of your hands. All you got to do is get a good, warm market relationship customer, someone that you have a contact with, and if you can get a copy of it. And by the way, if you don't know them, they're probably not going to give you a merchant service bill, right? Because in a way, they're letting you know their number. So you have to have a relationship, probably even get the copy of that merchant service statement. Okay? In some cases, they can just give it directly to Novia Payments. You can just make it happen. But understand, we're making it simple. Now, Novia Payments is going to have a complete call center with experienced people that understand how to evaluate a customer, how to give the customer a proposal to identify whether we can save them money or not. And third, if we can and they agree to it, they will then hook that customer up, decide what they need as far as equipment, and all of a sudden it becomes a customer of yours and you start getting paid month after month, year after year. Now, even though Novia Payments is not owned by ACN, it's very important to understand this. Novia Payments is not an ACN company. Okay? It will be treated as though it's an ACN company, which means if you get a customer, you're going to get paid the maximum residuals, and we'll break down the compensation plan when it comes out. I don't have those numbers yet, but you're going to get paid the maximum available, and number two, you're going to get paid for the life of the customer. No contracts, it's called life. You guys like that? Yes. Yeah. Okay, now, are you guys excited about Novia Payments coming? Yes! Now, I just want to put this out there because I want to set the right expectation. Credit card processing is a completely different business than anything any of you have ever experienced before. I would say the only downside to the industry is it takes a lot longer to hook a customer up. You're not going to get a customer signed up, 24 hours or 48 hours. That's not the way it works. So the only thing that I would want to just set the expectation for you guys is it's probably highly unlikely to be able to use it to qualify a team trainer. I think we've already noticed in the United States a lot of customers are taking 30 days or longer to actually get hooked up. And once they get hooked up, it's great. But you're still going to have to probably get a team trainer qualified with products and services that you can get marketed much quicker and get them signed up much quicker. Does that make sense to you guys? But as a business product, it's going to be the first of many business products that ACN is going to be bringing in 2014. We're going to be specializing in digital phone service for businesses, security for businesses. You're going to see us create what I call a menu of business products that is going to be targeted just to business owners. So that it's going to just be a whole different segment of the ACN opportunity. So we're still going to have the consumer-based, residential service-based products that you can market really, really fast, and then we're going to have a menu of business products that you're going to be able to target to those businesses. It may take a little longer to get a customer hooked up, but it doesn't matter because when you have a big downline and you're getting customers, long-term it's just going to enhance your overall ACN opportunity. You guys like where this is going? Yes. Okay. I just want to let you guys know, this is the first global edition Successful Home magazine that ACN has ever had. It was actually something they did special for ACN. Successful Home really is just for the United States, but they did a special edition just for us because of our 20-year anniversary. So that's why we're going to have it here in Europe. If you don't have it, get it. I know you can get it on the back office. But again, it's just something to have. It's a history. And it also tells a little bit of the story of what we've done in our first 20 years. And to me, anything that lends credibility when it comes to you showing ACN as a credible company, it's just good to have. So if you can, get some of those magazines, because you might hand it to somebody, you might show it to somebody, but it's good to have in your hand. We've got a convention coming up in Rotterdam. You guys excited about that? The convention that's coming up is really because of what you guys have been able to do. Your production led to us making a decision to having it here. But I want you to recognize this as a really big opportunity, because most of you are probably working in the Netherlands, and your teams are probably in the Netherlands right now. And I say almost every major city is about a 2.5-hour drive from anywhere else you are in the Netherlands. And you have access to what, almost 16 to 18 million people, right? That gives you guys a special advantage over a lot of countries. Like I always tell the story, I go to Australia. For me to go from Sydney, Australia to Perth, Australia is a 5.5-hour flight. Guess how many people live, population-wise, in Australia? About 20 million. Not much more than what you have here in the Netherlands. But I can get anywhere in the car in about 2.5 to 3 hours. Over there, every city I go to, I have to hop on an airplane. So you guys got an advantage because you have access to such a large number of people. And from what I understand, I believe the Netherlands, per square kilometer, has the most people living together, close together, than any other country within at least Western Europe that I know of. So this gives you guys an advantage because of networking. You don't have the limitations that a lot of other countries have. So that means Rotterdam is going to be very accessible to anyone and everyone, driving distance, and this gives you guys a huge opportunity. This could be the single largest attendance record from the Dutch organization ever in history to an international event. And I would make it, if I was living here and if I was one of the leaders, I'd make it my personal mission. It would be my personal mission to make sure the Dutch was represented at such a high level. Because we don't know when we're ever going to be here again. I mean, getting these big conventions at the times we need it, it's very hard to do. We're here. The last time we were in the Netherlands, I don't remember. I really don't. It's been that long. So this is an opportunity for you guys to have an event that's coming up next in your neighborhood. There's no reason that you should wait for the last minute for people to register. I've been focusing on that event, and with Adobe payments coming and a lot of other things that I haven't even mentioned yet being announced at that event, it's going to be one of those rare events. I believe it's going to be probably one of the most special events that we have had as a company in the last 5 years. It's going to be that special. So any of you that have ever been at ACE International Convention, like the last one in Barcelona, if you could just take the way you felt about that event when you left, multiply it by 10, because that's what you're going to feel out of the Rotterdam event. And that's why you can't wait to the last minute to promote. You've got to get people there, you've got to get people committed, and you've got to make the Netherlands, the Dutch representation, it's got to be a record-breaking attendance. And the way you guys are going to do that is by working together and make sure that through a common voice, that you guys have a mission to build towards it. I don't care what meeting you're doing, you should mention it at every weekly meeting, every one-on-one, every Saturday training, every leadership, every regional. It's got to be mentioned because people need to know that if they miss this event, they're going to be behind. There's no way they're going to be able to catch up to those people that actually made it. Plus, we've got a special guest speaker, Larry Raskin. Those of you in the room, some of you have heard him speak before, some of you don't know who he is. I'm going to tell you this, guys. Larry Raskin, in my opinion, is not only one of the greatest leaders that ACN has ever known, but he's also got a reputation. They call him the legend. Not in ACN. They call him the legend in the industry. He's got a name globally as, they call him Larry Raskin the legend, because he has been a mentor to so many top performing people in this industry. It's almost unheard of. So when you hear him speak, it's not like just listening to another leader speak. It's not even like listening to just a paid speaker that ACM might bring in. When you listen to this guy speak, he does something to people that I've never seen done before. Here's what he does. Most people motivate. You know what he does? He activates. There's something about his training and the way he talks and the message he gives that when he's done talking, I've seen him transform an individual from a meek, weak, scared individual to a sharp, selling, recruiting machine like I've never seen before. Okay? Now, I don't know how he does it. I really don't, because I wish I could do what he does. He just has it. He's one of those guys that has it. So he's going to be the special guest speaker. A lot of you don't know this, but he works on the inside with ACN. He's a part of the ACN corporate team. But he's been with our company since almost the very beginning. He got involved in early 1994. He's one of the main leaders. He's done everything you could possibly do in ACN. Senior Vice President. He's been on top production charts. He's got an organization in every single country. As a matter of fact, every single representative, everyone in Europe is in his team. You know why? Because he recruited Artie and George. He recruited Artie Palatano and George Elligan. George and Artie are in ACN because of Larry. That's what this guy is. Think about that, okay? So he does very, very well, but he's on the inside now. He's got a title called
VP of Leadership Development. We have him primarily focused in Asia Pacific right now, but there's a lot in North America. He's going to be the guest speaker here. He's one of those guys that you don't want to have 10 people in front of. You want to have 1,000 people in front of the staff because he's going to transform your organization. So make sure you guys just think about that alongside with everything else. So, I hope you guys got something from what I said today. My goal today was just to give you a little vision of where ACM is going. I apologize that you guys couldn't hear the beginning part of the ACM story, but I'll be honest with you, because I knew you couldn't hear it. I cut it down by 90%. I had to, I had no choice, because I thought I was going to lose my voice. But you guys can catch that the next time I'm around. I think the most important thing is that everyone in the group got a little glimpse of the future. Would you agree with that? Yes. Okay. So I'll leave you with this. Your job as a leader, and I'll just say this because I like talking to people as though I sponsored you myself, because when I walk off this stage, some of you I may not have an opportunity to talk to again. Some of you I may not even see again. So I just like being straight. I like being, in your face, forward and honest. If you want to be successful in ACM, you've got to step up and be a leader of your own organization. You have to. You have to be the leader of your own team. If you're in this room because you're dependent on the person who brought you here, you want them to do your meetings, you want them to motivate you, you want them to tell you when the next meeting is, and you're really inactive as a person, like you're just sitting back waiting to be told what to do, let me just save you weeks, months, and years of trouble. You'll never succeed in our company. You'll never succeed. Okay? You have to be an independent leader. You've got to take ownership of your business, which means you've got to dictate and control the direction of your future. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be one of the hardest things you ever did. And it won't really be fun until you're making money. Okay? When you're making money, and you've already achieved that top position, then you just laugh to the bank, all the way. I mean, nothing seems to bother you anymore. Right? Your friend tells you you're stupid for doing it, and you go, okay, it doesn't bother you anymore. Because you've made money. But it's hard until you get to that point. But you've got to make that commitment. The hardest thing you ever did, but I promise you, once you learn it, once you figure it out, because other people have, other people will. The question is, are you going to put in that time? Are you going to step up? Are you going to make it happen? Once you cross that threshold, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But don't be one of those people that are just sitting back, waiting to be told what to do, waiting to be motivated. Don't act like an employee. Okay? Don't act like an employee. Because employees just get paid enough, typically, to keep them to work so they don't quit. That's what employees are paid just enough not to quit. Think about it. But you know what employees do? They work just hard enough not to get fired. So I'm telling you, in our business, if you have that mentality, don't do it. Don't even bother. It won't work. You've got to be all in. All in. How long? I don't know. Some of you might be all in for 60 days and you'll get it out of the gates. Some of you might have to be all in for 2 years. I don't know. It depends on you. It depends on a little luck. Some of you might join today, and in 2 days from now, you end up recruiting ACN's next biggest producer. We don't know. So how many of you will be okay with a little luck? But you won't have any luck unless you're out there trying. You've got to be out there talking to people. You've got to be out there making things happen. You've got to be out there going through the ups and downs like everyone else did who went to the top in ACN just like us. But if you do it, and you're committed to it, then you have a shot. And here's what I say about ACM, because this is what you got to look at. Most people don't even have a shot. Most people are in careers right now that there's a glass ceiling. They just simply don't have a shot. They think they do. They just have security, but they don't have a shot. They'll never really be great. They'll never be financially independent. They'll never be out there getting the rewards of helping other people succeed. They'll never have it because they don't have the opportunity. You might not make it in ACM, but at least you can say you have a shot here. You have a shot. Because there is no limitation. And I believe what one man or what woman, what one person does, another can do. I believe that. Why? Do you really believe somebody who's a senior vice president or Circle of Champions member making millions a year, do you really believe that they're different than you? Do you really believe that they have some special gift? Do you really believe that they know something that is like a secret? Like we got a secret club? Like, okay, now we'll tell you the secret. No, there is no secret. That's the secret. That's the secret. And you only figure that out when you get to the top. Then you realize it's only hard work. It's only hard work and guts. Hard work and guts. And develop thick skin. Because guess what? All of you are going to have hard days. All of you are going to be laughed at. All of you are going to be rejected. It's just the nature of the business. But once you cross the line and you're making money, you become an RVP, senior vice president, then you'll know what fun is. Then you'll know what it is to relax and enjoy the entire ride. But you've got to be able to put in time. Can you guys do that? Yes. Yes.